Where do we come from? It's a question that has plagued humanity for centuries. Science tells us about evolution, about humans emerging from the primordial soup over millions of years. But what about Buddhism? What does this ancient wisdom say about our origins? Buddhism doesn't tell us a story of a single, all-powerful creator who made humans. It doesn't dwell on where we came from in the traditional sense. Instead, it shifts the focus. Buddhism shows us that the question isn't just about a moment in time. It's about a cycle that has no beginning and no end. It's about Samsara, the never-ending cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In Buddhism, humans don't just begin when we're born. We are the product of karma, the actions we've taken in past lives. Every decision, every thought, every word we speak ripples through the fabric of our existence, shaping the very life we live now and those we will lead in the future. Our human form is not an accident, nor is it the result of some divine creation. It's part of an ongoing process, one that has no start or finish, only constant transformation. But what does this mean for you? For all of us? It means that our origins, our true nature, are not something to be found in the past. They are something to be understood in the present. In every breath we take, in every moment we experience, we are creating the foundation for who we will become. This video is about exploring that journey. It's about understanding how, in the eyes of Buddhism, we are constantly becoming, constantly evolving, not through the lens of time, but through the power of karma and the endless cycle of rebirth. Our origins are not fixed. They are a dynamic, ongoing process shaped by our actions, thoughts, and choices. So let's dive in. Let's explore what Buddhism says about where we come from, and more importantly, where we are going. It's time to look at our origins, not as a static event in the past, but as a living, breathing process that continues to shape us every single day. Ready? Let's begin. Section 1, the Buddhist Cosmology. In Buddhism, human origins aren't about a single moment of creation. Instead, it's about understanding where we fit in the grand tapestry of existence. To truly grasp the Buddhist view of human origins, we first need to understand Buddhist cosmology, the framework that explains how the universe functions and how we, as human beings, are interconnected with everything around us. Buddhism doesn't see the universe as something created by a god or a supreme being. Instead, it's an endless cycle, a process that is continuously evolving. The universe is vast and full of countless realms of existence, each one a part of Samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Humans are just one piece of this cosmic puzzle. The key idea here is dependent origination, pratitya samutpada, the understanding that everything arises because of specific causes and conditions. Nothing exists in isolation. We don't come into being because of a divine act. We are here because of the countless interactions, past actions, and karmic conditions that brought us to this point in time. Buddhism tells us that the world we live in is not static. It is constantly changing, and everything is interconnected. From the smallest insect to the largest planet, everything in the universe is bound by the same laws of cause and effect. The human experience, just like everything else in the universe, is in constant flux. We are not born once and done. We are born again and again, evolving and learning until we transcend the cycle altogether. In this vast cosmos, there is no single beginning or end. Life doesn't start with birth and end with death. Instead, life is a continuous flow, a cycle of cause and effect. The key to understanding our origins lies in realizing that we are the result of countless moments, choices, and actions that have been set in motion over lifetimes, not just one. As we look deeper into the Buddhist cosmology, we begin to understand that humans aren't the center of the universe. We are part of a much larger system, one that is bound by impermanence, anicca, the law that everything is temporary and always changing. Our lives, our origins, are not set in stone. They are in constant motion, and understanding this is the first step toward understanding who we are and where we come from. Section 2, Human Life in Buddhism. Now that we've explored the universe from a Buddhist perspective, let's focus on human life. How do we fit into this cosmic cycle? And what does Buddhism say about our role as human beings? In Buddhism, human life is seen not as a one-time event, but as a continuation, a process that spans across many lifetimes. This is the concept of samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. But here's the twist. We don't simply repeat the same life over and over. Each lifetime is different, shaped by the karma we've accumulated in the past. Karma is the law of cause and effect. Every action, every thought, every word has consequences. The choices we make in this life, whether good or bad, will determine our future. But it's not just about the actions in this lifetime. Buddhism teaches that our karma stretches across all of our past lives, influencing our current form, our circumstances, and our challenges. We may wonder, why are we born as humans and not as other beings? The answer lies in our past actions. If we were kind, compassionate, and wise in past lives, we may be born into favorable circumstances. If we were selfish or harmful, we might experience suffering in this life. But regardless of our circumstances, we all have the potential to transcend samsara. We all have the potential for awakening. The Buddha taught that all beings have the potential to reach nirvana, the ultimate state of enlightenment and liberation from samsara. But to reach this goal, we must recognize the truth of our suffering, dukkha, and the impermanence of all things. We must understand that human life is a precious opportunity to break free from the cycle of suffering and rebirth. In Buddhism, human life is seen as a rare gift. We may have been born into countless forms in the past, animals, gods, or even beings in other realms. But being born as a human is considered one of the best chances to reach enlightenment. This is because humans have the unique capacity for reason, wisdom, and understanding. We can meditate, reflect, and make conscious choices that shape our destiny. We are not bound by our past karma alone. We have the ability to create new karma through our actions. In this section, we begin to understand that the question of where we come from is not just about our origins in the physical world. It's about recognizing the deeper forces at play, the forces of karma, rebirth, and our ultimate goal of transcending samsara. The life we live now is part of a much larger, ongoing journey, one that has no fixed beginning or end, but is shaped by our actions, thoughts, and the wisdom we gain along the way. Section 3. Karma and rebirth. In Buddhism, human existence is inextricably linked to karma, the law of cause and effect. Our lives, our origins, and even our future existences are shaped by the actions we have taken, not just in this lifetime, but in countless past lives. To truly understand where we come from, we must understand karma and rebirth. Karma is the simple but powerful truth that every action we take, whether positive or negative, has consequences. It's not about reward or punishment. It's about the natural flow of cause and effect. When we do something, it creates an energetic ripple that influences everything around us, including our future. But how does this play into the Buddhist view of human origins? Here's where it gets deep. Karma isn't just about this life. The actions, thoughts, and words of our past lives influence who we are right now. They shape our circumstances, our relationships, and even the kind of human beings we become. Each lifetime is a continuation of the one before. The human experience is not just about this body or this mind. It is about the soul's journey through countless lives. The cycle of samsara is the process through which we are born, live, die, and are reborn again. With each rebirth, we bring forward the karma of our past lives, and that karma shapes the next life we are born into. But this isn't a hopeless cycle. Far from it. Buddhism offers a way out. The ultimate goal of Buddhist practice is nirvana, the cessation of suffering, and the end of the cycle of samsara. This is the freedom from rebirth, the liberation from the endless rounds of life and death. The way to escape samsara is by transforming our karma. We do this through ethical living, meditation, wisdom, and compassion. Every action, every thought, every moment of mindfulness contributes to our liberation. By purifying our karma and breaking the chains that bind us to this cycle, we can achieve enlightenment. Rebirth in Buddhism is not about starting over with a clean slate every time. Instead, it's about the continuation of consciousness, shaped by the accumulated karma from past lives. The idea is that we don't just stop existing after death. Our consciousness continues in another form, influenced by the karma we have accumulated throughout our journey. The beautiful part of this is that it places us in control of our destiny. While we can't undo the past, we can transform our future. We are not prisoners of our past actions. We have the ability to shape our future through conscious, mindful choices in the present. This is the essence of karma. It is not a fatalistic law that traps us, but a path to liberation that gives us the power to change, grow, and ultimately transcend. Section 4. The role of consciousness in human origins. Now that we understand karma and rebirth, let's dive deeper into the role of consciousness in Buddhism. What does it mean to be human, and how does consciousness play a central role in the Buddhist view of human origins? In many religious traditions, humans are seen as the creation of a divine being, with consciousness being a special gift. But in Buddhism, consciousness is not something that is granted by a higher power. It is an inherent quality that arises from the workings of karma. Buddhist teachings tell us that consciousness is not permanent. It is not a fixed entity that belongs to us in the way we usually think. Instead, it is a constantly changing, evolving process. Our consciousness is shaped by our actions, our thoughts, and the experiences we accumulate over time. It is a continuum, a stream of mental and emotional states that extends beyond a single lifetime. At the moment of birth, we don't start with a blank slate. We are born with a consciousness shaped by the karmic conditions from our past lives. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions in past lives create the foundation of our present consciousness. In this sense, we are the product of our past, but we are also the creators of our future. Consciousness in Buddhism is not tied to the physical body. It is impermanent and formless, like a river that flows from one life to the next. Each life is not the beginning of a new consciousness, but the continuation of the consciousness that has existed through countless lifetimes. This means that we are not the same person we were in our past lives, but we carry the traces of those past lives within us. Our human origins, therefore, are not just about our physical bodies. They are about the continuity of consciousness, the unbroken flow of mental and emotional states that stretches back through time and continues into the future. This is why Buddhism teaches that the human experience is not simply about birth and death. It's about the ongoing process of becoming, constantly changing, evolving, and hopefully awakening to our true nature. Consciousness is central to our ability to break free from the cycle of samsara. It is through our awareness of our consciousness through mindfulness and meditation that we can begin to understand and transform our karmic tendencies. We can begin to purify our consciousness, freeing it from the bonds of past actions and ultimately achieving nirvana. So when we ask, where do we come from? The answer is not just about where our bodies came from, but where our consciousness has been and where it is going. Our consciousness, shaped by past karma, continues to evolve, and it is up to us to direct it toward enlightenment, to break free from the endless cycle of rebirth, and to attain true liberation. Section 5, Buddhism's view on evolution. When we think about the origins of humans, the word evolution often comes to mind. Science has long explained human development through the process of evolution, where life on Earth evolved through natural selection, with humans being the result of this long process. But what does Buddhism have to say about evolution? Does it contradict the teachings of evolution, or is there a way to harmonize the two perspectives? Interestingly, Buddhism doesn't focus on a specific theory of how life evolves, but it provides a view that is not in conflict with the scientific understanding of evolution. Buddhism teaches that all things are impermanent, anicca, constantly changing and evolving. This idea of change and transformation is central to the Buddhist view of life, and it aligns with the evolutionary principles observed in nature. The world in Buddhism is not static. It is always in flux, and everything undergoes transformation, whether it's the physical world or the beings that inhabit it. In Buddhism, the focus is not on where humans specifically came from in the evolutionary sense, but rather on the nature of impermanence and interdependence. Evolutionary changes can be seen as part of this impermanent, ever-changing process. Humans, like all other beings, are part of this ongoing evolution. Just as species evolve, so too do our minds and consciousness. We evolve not just physically, but spiritually and karmically. The process of evolution, from a Buddhist standpoint, can be seen as a part of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Human beings, like all life forms, are in constant transformation, and this transformation is influenced by our karma. In this way, evolution is not something separate from Buddhism, but part of the natural order of the universe. one that is governed by the same laws of cause and effect that shape our actions and experiences. Buddhism teaches that all beings, humans, animals, plants, and even non-living entities, are part of a vast, interconnected web of life. Everything is interdependent. Our human origins, then, are not isolated events, but part of the larger process of life that encompasses all living things. We are not separate from the world around us. We are an integral part of it, constantly evolving and changing alongside it. This view aligns with the scientific perspective of evolution, where all living beings are connected through a shared history. However, Buddhism adds an important layer to this understanding. It teaches that, while we evolve in form, we also have the potential to evolve spiritually. The human experience is not just about physical evolution, it is about the evolution of the mind and consciousness. Through practices like meditation, ethical living, and wisdom, we can transcend our physical limitations and evolve towards spiritual awakening. Buddhism's view of evolution, then, is not just about biology, it's about the evolution of consciousness and the path toward enlightenment. Section 6. The Buddha's teachings on the nature of humans. At the core of Buddhism is the understanding of human nature. The Buddha's teachings on what it means to be human are profound and transformative. To understand human origins from a Buddhist perspective, we must explore what the Buddha said about the human mind, the nature of suffering, and the potential for liberation. The Buddha taught that human beings are born with the potential for enlightenment, the ultimate understanding of reality and freedom from suffering. This is what is known as Buddha nature, the inherent potential in all beings to awaken to their true nature. It is not that we are born enlightened, but that we have the seeds of enlightenment within us. The human experience is one of discovering and awakening to this potential. The Buddha's view of human nature begins with the recognition that all beings, including humans, are bound by suffering, dukkha. Suffering is not just about physical pain, it is the existential suffering that arises from our attachment to things that are impermanent. We suffer because we cling to the idea that things should remain the same, that we can hold on to them forever. The reality, however, is that everything changes. Everything is impermanent. The human condition is one of dukkha, the cycle of craving and attachment that leads to suffering. But the Buddha didn't leave us without hope. He taught that freedom from suffering is possible. Through the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, we can transform our minds, break free from attachment, and realize the true nature of reality. This is the path of awakening, a path that leads to the end of suffering and the realization of our true enlightened nature. The Buddha's teachings on the human mind are centered around the understanding of the 5 aggregates, the components that make up the human experience. These aggregates are form, rupa, the physical body, tanhain, sharira, the tangible aspects of our existence. Feeling, vedana, the sensations and emotions we experience. Perception, samsara, the mental processes that interpret the world around us. Mental formations, samskara, our thoughts, intentions, and volitions. Consciousness, vijnana, the awareness or consciousness that perceives and experiences. The Buddha taught that these 5 aggregates are not permanent. They are subject to change. The human experience is not a fixed, unchanging entity. We are a dynamic process, constantly evolving through the interplay of these aggregates. Understanding this is crucial in Buddhism because it shows us that we are not our bodies, our thoughts, or our emotions. We are not permanent entities. We are the result of a constantly changing flow of mental and physical phenomena. Through mindfulness and meditation, we can begin to see the impermanent nature of these aggregates and detach from our identification with them. By understanding that we are not the aggregates themselves, we can move beyond the limited view of the self and realize our true nature, a nature that is boundless, interconnected, and capable of achieving enlightenment. The Buddha's teachings offer us a way to understand the human experience not as a static origin point, but as an evolving journey. We are not just the sum of our past karma, nor are we defined by our physical bodies. We are beings with the potential to awaken, to transcend suffering, and to realize the truth of our interconnected existence. In this way, Buddhism provides a profound and empowering perspective on human origins. We are not simply the product of chance or the result of past actions alone. We are beings with the potential to transform, to evolve, and to awaken to our true nature. The journey of human life from a Buddhist perspective is one of growth, both physical and spiritual. And the ultimate goal is to awaken to the boundless wisdom, compassion, and freedom that lie within us all. Section 7. The interconnectedness of all life. In Buddhism, nothing exists in isolation. Every being, every form of life is interconnected. This principle of interconnectedness forms the core of Buddhist teachings and provides a crucial insight into the origins of human life. From the tiniest insect to the vastness of the universe, all things are interconnected and interdependent, linked by the laws of karma and the forces of dependent origination. The Buddhist view of interconnectedness challenges our conventional understanding of the self. In many cultures, humans are seen as distinct and separate from the rest of nature. But in Buddhism, humans are not at the center of the universe. Rather, we are a part of a much larger system of life. This interconnectedness isn't just a philosophical idea, it's a practical truth. Our actions affect the world around us, and the world affects us in turn. The Buddha taught that we are all bound together in the cycle of samsara, and our actions in this life impact the world around us, creating ripples that extend far beyond our immediate environment. This view calls us to practice compassion and mindfulness, recognizing that every action we take has consequences, not just for ourselves, but for all living beings. Understanding interconnectedness gives us a deeper understanding of our human origins. We are not isolated individuals, living separate lives. Our origins are tied to the lives of all other beings, past, present, and future. The conditions that led to our birth were shaped by countless other lives, and in turn, our actions will shape the future of others. We are all part of the same cosmic flow, shaped by the same laws of nature and karma. The interdependence of all life is central to the Buddhist concept of emptiness, shunyata, which teaches that nothing has an independent, inherent existence. All things arise because of specific causes and conditions. Nothing exists alone or in isolation. Everything is contingent on everything else. The human experience is not just about individual survival or individual gain. It is about understanding that we are part of a much greater whole. And when we live with this awareness, we begin to see how our actions contribute to the greater good or the greater harm of the world around us. In this way, Buddhism teaches us that human origins are not just personal, they are collective. We are the product of countless interactions with other beings, and our future is shaped by the actions we take today. By embracing our interconnectedness, we can transform our understanding of the world and our place within it, leading us toward a more compassionate, mindful, and harmonious existence. Section 8. Human origins in the pursuit of enlightenment. At the heart of Buddhist thought is the concept of enlightenment, the ultimate goal of human existence. The Buddha taught that all beings have the potential to awaken to their true nature, transcending the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In this sense, our human origins are not merely about where we come from in a physical sense, but about the deeper spiritual journey we are on. Human life, according to Buddhism, is an incredible opportunity, a rare chance to achieve enlightenment and liberate oneself from the cycle of samsara. Unlike beings born into other realms, humans possess the unique ability to practice mindfulness, reason, and contemplation. We have the capacity to understand the nature of suffering, to contemplate the impermanence of life, and to break free from the attachments that bind us to the cycle of rebirth. But the path to enlightenment is not easy. It requires deep self-awareness, a commitment to ethical living, and the cultivation of wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. The Buddhist teachings, particularly the Noble Eightfold Path, provide the practical steps necessary for achieving this goal. This path teaches us how to live in harmony with ourselves and others, how to develop clear understanding, and how to cultivate the mental discipline needed for true spiritual awakening. In Buddhism, human origins are seen not as the starting point of our journey, but as a moment in an ongoing, transformative process. We are born into this world with the seeds of enlightenment already within us. Our job is to nourish those seeds, to cultivate the qualities that lead to awakening. Our human experience is a series of opportunities to work through our karma, to break free from the mental patterns that cause suffering, and to realize the deep, unshakable peace that lies beyond all illusion. Through meditation and mindfulness, we can come to understand the true nature of the mind. We can see through the delusions that keep us trapped in samsara and begin to experience life as it truly is, free from attachment, free from fear, and free from suffering. This is the essence of nirvana, the ultimate goal of the Buddhist path. Nirvana is not a place or a state of being, but the cessation of the mental and emotional patterns that bind us to the cycle of suffering. It is the realization of our true nature, which is already perfect and free from the burdens of samsara. The pursuit of enlightenment is the ultimate purpose of human existence in Buddhism. Our human origins are not just about the physical life we live, but about the spiritual journey we are undertaking. We are not simply born into this world to live, die, and be reborn. We are here to awaken, to realize the deeper truths of existence, and to transcend the limitations of samsara. In the Buddhist view, human life is precious because it offers us the opportunity to transcend suffering and realize the profound freedom that lies beyond the cycle of birth and death. The key to unlocking our potential is to live with awareness, to practice the teachings of the Buddha, and to awaken to the truth of who we truly are. This journey of awakening, of realizing our true nature, is the most meaningful purpose of human life. And it is what Buddhism ultimately teaches us about our origins and our destiny. By embracing this journey, we come to understand that our human origins are not merely a question of where we came from, but about where we are going, the path to enlightenment, the path to true freedom. This is the true purpose of our existence, and it is available to all beings, regardless of their past, their present circumstances, or their karma. The Buddhist teachings show us that no matter where we come from, we all have the potential to awaken to the truth of our existence. Conclusion. In Buddhism, the question of human origins is not just about where we come from, but about who we are and where we are going. Unlike traditional views that focus on a single fixed point of origin, Buddhism teaches us that existence is a continuous flow, an ongoing process shaped by karma, rebirth, and the interconnectedness of all life. Human beings are not isolated individuals, but part of a vast interconnected web of existence. Our origins are not tied to a specific moment of creation, but are part of a larger cosmic cycle, samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Our past actions shape our present existence, and our present actions shape our future. This view of human origins challenges us to move beyond a narrow, self-centered understanding of our lives and embrace the reality that we are part of something much larger. Buddhism teaches that the ultimate goal is not to search for a fixed origin or to be bound by our past karma, but to awaken to the truth of our nature, to realize that Buddha nature is present in all of us. We are all born with the potential to transcend suffering, break free from the cycle of samsara, and achieve nirvana, the state of ultimate enlightenment and liberation. Our human experience, therefore, is not just about the physical origins of our being, but about the spiritual journey we are undertaking. The path to understanding human origins in Buddhism is the path to awakening, the realization that we are not defined by our past, but by the choices we make in the present. Through mindfulness, ethical living, meditation, and wisdom, we can transform our karma, purify our consciousness, and awaken to our true nature. Our human origins, then, are not something to be searched for in time and space, but something to be understood in the present moment as we awaken to the interconnectedness of all life and the profound potential within us. In the end, Buddhism invites us to move beyond the question of where we come from and focus on the transformative journey we are on. The true origin lies not in the past, but in the realization of our inherent potential to awaken, to break free from suffering, and to achieve the ultimate freedom of nirvana. The question of human origins becomes less important when we realize that we are already part of the eternal flow of existence, and that the true goal of our lives is not to find an origin, but to awaken to the boundless wisdom, compassion, and peace that lie within.